Hey, what's going on, everybody? We have a huge dump today across the board. Some assets down 10, 20%. So, what does that mean? Well, if you've been following along, we've been thinking here that eventually the price is going to work its way back down, ultimately to test the bull market support band. So, is this what's happening now? We have an A, we come up for B, and now is this the beginning of a C? Or maybe if we go back to total 3, you can see it's much more steep. It already took out this low here. We had an A, B, and then we came down for C. It looks like a 1, 2, 3. Maybe we get 4 and then 5, right? And then we start to accelerate to the upside. So that's what we've been kind of thinking here for the last, I don't know, maybe a week or two, that this is some type of ABC or some type of flat pattern. XRP broke below the bull market support band. It did not, take out this low yet, which is good. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like an A, B, and a C. So we have a 5-wave move and an ABC pullback. So let's see if we can start, finding some support here. The only cause for concern really is if total 3 hasn't reached down there yet, and Bitcoin is very far away, still far away from the bull market support band. It makes me wonder, maybe it won't hit it, right? Maybe Bitcoin is too stubborn to come down and hit it, because that was its chance, really. I mean, we're still kind of following this trend line somewhat. Some type of triangle here. So yeah, it's yet to be seen for Bitcoin. We're still in the middle of the range for Bitcoin. But the altcoins is what really got smacked pretty hard today. So, yeah, we have a nice 3-wave shape. Let's see if we can hold support here. But anyway you slice it or dice it, we've been thinking, hey, this is probably not finished yet. Let's look at Theta. Theta looks, still very bullish. We can see, right, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless, of course, this is 1, 2, all of this is 3, this is 4, and then we get 5. But if you look at Theta, we're still way above the bull market support band. We still have approximately another 20% to go. So I don't know. It's kind of, maybe it's just gotten started yet. It's too early to tell. But one thing I do like, it's looking kind of, like a bull flag here. It's looking like it's flagging out for a continuation. We have 1, 2, 3, maybe we get 4 and 5, right? Somehow, some way, and we meet up and then we continue higher. Again, very early to know. We just had the big dump. So let's wait until we get some structure coming into the chart. We did take out the low here, right here. So we took out this low already. And, and then by the way, we were also of the assumption that it's probably some type of descending triangle. So, and when we were breaking out of here, it looked kind of like a trap to me. So, now we're breaking below the descending triangle. So let's see if we can swoop back and continue down. Again, kind of early to tell, but if I was assuming here, I would believe that we're coming down to the bull market support band. So just have patience. Let's wait it out and see what happens. Let's see what else we got here. I mean, it looks pretty clear for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 1, 2, 3. Right? We have, and then we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3. So we have an A and then 3 for a WXY for B. Now it looks like we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably down here for C. So that's sort of kind of my interpretation of what we have here. Now if you do the measured move of the descending triangle, I don't really like it over here. I'm probably going to do it from here. And I bring it down. That puts us right into the bull market support band, right around $1.70 or so. So still quite a ways away if that's the case. I was going to do a rapid fire video today, but since we had that big volatile moment, it wouldn't make sense. But look, guys, zoom out. When you zoom out, look at that. You can't even tell anything's happened. Nothing's happened, right? We still have a beautiful, we're still in an uptrend, right? We still have our Wyckoff accumulation. We have a breakout. I mean, if it really wanted to, it can come all the way back down, and we've talked about this as well, to back test, right? Back test the breakout zone. So here's our, our resistance for the top of the range. So we had a 1, 2, we have a 3, right? Or a 1, 2, 1, and now we could potentially come all the way back down to back test previous resistance to make it, the new support. And that would be very, very bullish, because that would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, which would set us up big time. So maybe we don't, but if I was to guess, I wouldn't think such a deep correction. I would probably assume somewhere around the bull market support band, around that 170 to between 170 and 190 as it stands now. But remember, that is continuing to rise higher and higher as the days go on. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. Looking at Theta fuel, it's still bullish, right? It didn't have such of a bad correction like some of these coins. Let's see, maybe it did. Yeah, it's actually 20%. That's pretty bad. But from a structure perspective, it's still not too bad. So what I'm thinking here for Theta fuel is we have an A, like we've been saying for the last week or so, which is a flat pattern. We have an A, we came up for B, and this could be a running flat, which is a 1, 2, 1, 2. If we find support in here, we can go, but chances are it's probably not so much of a running flat anymore, just because of how the other charts look. So we still have a flat, but it's probably going to come down for an expanded flat before it continues higher. So we have a 1, 2, 3. Remember, the market moves in 5s and 3s, so we have a 3-wave bullish correction, right? And then when I zoom out on that, you can see a beautiful back test of the Wyckoff range. So we have this this range down here, right? Wyckoff accumulation, and back testing it is sometimes appropriate. And when you look at the Wyckoff example, you can see just how much we play around up here before we start to accelerate to the upside. So boom, 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 boom. Then we start carrying up. Now we're working ourselves out before we inevitably start to get a serious pump. So yeah, I think this correction is not so much of a surprise, maybe to some people, but you know, even Ethereum, it's getting close to the bull market support band. Aave has lost it. A lot of these coins will lose it. I mean, XRP lost it. As long as Filecoin lost it, as long as the big cap, or I'm sorry, like Bitcoin, as long as Bitcoin holds above, then we're looking good. QNT, wow, look at QNT. It had a massive wick. Wow, that's insane. Look at that. But look how much it got bought back up. I mean, just that wick alone is 25%. So this whole candle here went down about 32%. But then it got bought back up pretty nicely. So, yeah, maybe the bottom is in. Well, it's, again, it's kind of early to tell. If I zoom in here, 10-minute chart, that's a pretty powerful bounce. Obviously, it's probably a dead cat bounce. Usually when that happens, you come all the way back down. Question is, do we keep going lower? Sometimes it'll make you think so, and then it'll swoop back up and continue. So we have a big dump. Let's look at XLM, 4-day chart. And by the way, the rapid fire, Theta, Bitcoin, Ripple, JTO, Solana, D-Road, Jasmy, Caspa, Hedera, XLM, XDC, Theta Drop, Stacks. I got a few more. So stay tuned for that. I was actually, like I said, I was going to do that today, but I figured probably that's not what people want to hear right now. They want to just get an overall sense of the market in general. So I mean, even H-bar, right? You have this, it's sort of back testing the range right now. So I never had a proper back test, right? So we came up, resistance, resistance, resistance. We finally broke above, but now we're coming down to back test. So 1, 2. So to me, it looks like a either an A, B, C, or a 1, 2, 1, 2, even another 1, 2, which would be pretty bullish. So yeah, I'm looking for. We are definitely oversold on a lot of these charts. I would like to see some support hold in, right? I mean, look at D-Row. It didn't even get affected by it. Interesting. It didn't even, I mean, it barely got affected by it. So, Jasmy still looks not bad. Some of these, still look like they have, I don't know, like an ascending triangle type of look to it. So we'll see. But, not financial advice. For me, dollar cost averaging is the way to go. But yeah, I really want to see some of these assets touch their bull market support band. So, or at least wick off of them. What's really interesting about XRP is maybe this is complete. It's kind of an interesting thing because XRP is like right where it needs to be. You don't really want it to go any lower. Obviously, if it did go lower, it would be following the previous thing that happened. Like, let me show you real quick. When we broke out, we had a big dump. So don't even look at the wick, just looking at the bodies of the candle, like right in here. You can see, right, we have this, we're coming up, we're on the bull market support band, we lost it, then bam, we have this liquidation event that takes out all of these lows, and then it goes to the upside. So if that were to happen again, you can see, if I just draw a line somewhere in here, now I don't think it would take these out, but probably something like this, right? Around that 40 cent area where we come down, and just like the last time, we lose the bull market support band, we sweep the lows, and then boom, we go massively to the upside. And then that would also mean you lose the trend line, right? So here's your trend line, engineering liquidity. You break it, everybody goes short, you grab that liquidity, then you take it up. And that's exactly, like I said, that's exactly what happened over here. So, your trend line is here, right? Somewhat of a trend line. You break below, you grab that liquidity, you take it up. So is that what's happening again? Maybe. It sure definitely looks like it has that impression so far. Now, the other ideas are still on the table, which is this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and now this is a 1, 2, and now we're getting ready to go. The other idea is to say that this is an A, B, C, D, E, and now we're ready to go. So we have two counts that say, hey, this should be finishing now. If it breaks below this low, then it's kind of starts to be invalidated, because you can see since going back over here, June of 2022, right? So how long is that? June 2022, 23, 24. I would say almost 2 years we've been making consistent higher lows. So we have a low, we have a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Do we get another higher low? I mean, that's kind of the suspect, right? If we do come down and we take out this low, we want it to be a wick, right? We want it to happen very fast. Because if you start trading bodies of candles down here, it's going to look like this is, starting to go down for our ultimate bearish scenario that I put out. I think I put it out maybe a week or two ago, basically talking about the ultimate bearish scenario for XRP. But right now, as far as that triangle goes, we could be at the end of it, right? So A, B, C, D, and then we have 1, 2, 3 for E, and now it's done, right? So this is it. This is the moment. So it needs to find some support. Doesn't look like any buyers are stepping up, right? We don't see a big rejection. That probably means we have one more low to go. As long as we don't break below 49 cents to 50 cents. So as long as we stay above that 50 cent area, this is still valid for an E wave, right? So, I know some people said, oh, we're not going to break the low. The chances are we probably, it's hard to say. I don't want to come out and say yes or no. I want to wait and see how this finishes. But to me, right now, it seems like we have another low to go, at least in this wave. And the thing is, if Bitcoin comes down, right, to the bull market support band, then you're most likely going to get another low for XRP. I mean, look how far away it is. We still have a long way to go. I mean, we have a long way to go for Bitcoin. That's kind of the problem here. The rest of the market already took a big dump. But if Bitcoin, that's 18% away. So that's, if XRP is already at that thin line of, Theta definitely has much more wiggle room. It has 30%. So, but, for XRP, it not so much, right? But when you zoom out, barely got anything going on here. Just a little little correction as far as the macro is concerned. And you can still look at it, right, as a sort of rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, and then go. But then also, this whole thing is a triangle, right? So, we finished wave A, we finished wave B, C, D, and now we're in wave E, and wave E itself, right? Wave E itself is a triangle. So when you look at wave E, the final wave, you look at the triangle, right? And then if that's the case, we have A, B, C, D, E. So then E is also finished. So, a contracting triangle within a contracting triangle, both in wave E, both finishing the last wave of wave E. Is that the case? Well, I want to say yeah, but, when you look at total 3, we're still not quite there yet. When you look at Bitcoin, we're definitely not there. So if total 3 comes further down to test the bull market support band, right, then probably XRP will break that low. If in fact it doesn't happen in a straight line, so for example, if it does something like this, right, where we, because the way I'm looking at it, we have 3. We have 1, 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have a complete WXY. Now, it could turn into an ABC where you get 4, then 5. So if we get that, then XRP probably will break the low. But if we come up here, right, a lot higher, and then we take our time and then we kind of come down, it would give the opportunity for the bull market support band to catch up more, but then it would also give XRP the opportunity to recover, right? So it really depends on the speed of everything. But right now, zooming all the way in to like the 30-minute chart, there's really nothing there. I mean, we are finding a little bit of support here. You just need more data. This is the 5-minute chart. So we could be flagging out for another low, or we can just be, trending sideways. A lot of times when you get a big dump like this, you come all the way back up and retest up here before either making a higher low or breaking the low and making one more. So I'll come back on and make another video once I get more information. Again, this liquidation just happened. I don't have any news on it. I know the stock market, I guess, took a hit. I'm not sure, what the liquidation news is. Is it, I'm not sure. I just looking at the chart and I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So give it 24 hours, let the dust settle, and we'll get a better answer. But for now, I mean, this is basically what we've been talking about for a while, which is getting back down to the bull market support band. So the question is that what's happening? Well, it sure does look like it. So if you're holding Theta, there's nothing to worry about at all. It's still very bullish. Very bullish. We're still very high above. I mean, for goodness sake, we're 46% above the bull market support band. We have plenty of room, plenty of space, right? Going back down, we're about 30% below it. Still a lot of room. Now, when you look at XRP, we crushed right below it. We don't have much space, for us to lose structure. But to me, it looks like a 1, 2. Either this is a 1, 2, or we're in the middle of the third. So probably a little bit further to go, maybe. but it would like to see it tested before another pump. It looks like a beautiful bull flag shaping out, just like how this one was. You can see how it's shaping up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So are you buying the dip? Let me know in the comment section. Are you buying this dip? I think dollar cost averaging is the best thing to do. But we buying the dip also, just know we still have quite a bit of space down here for it to keep going. So 1, 2, 3, and in 3 looks like we have a 1, 2. All of this is 3. We're getting 4, then we get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is the worst over? I would say probably momentarily. But again, bull market support band. The big question for me is Bitcoin. It's just weird that Bitcoin did not want to participate. I mean, yeah, it did have a big crash, but it's still very far away from the bull market support band, which is concerning, because if it did get down here, then what would that mean for the altcoins? The altcoins would get totally crushed. If the altcoins got crushed like that, just this little dip, can you imagine coming all the way down here? So something's a little fishy. So I'm not sure if it's sort of a liquidation or like a fake out, right? It kind of reminds me of a fake out, but then again, I still want to see this bull market support band come down, swoop the lows, kind of like how Total 3 is attempting to do. So, Total 3, we took out the low. That's kind of a good thing, right? You have A, you come up for B, and then now you have a C or an X, or I'm sorry, a Y. So A, B, C, or W, X, Y. If it's a Y or if it's an X, we only have 3. If it's a C, we probably have one more than another dump, which would be a Y, or I'm sorry, a C. So, and if you extend that out, kind of looks like it wants to touch it. Now, I didn't think it would happen this fast. I thought it would take probably within another week or two for it to work its way down, but it happened really quick. So I'm wondering, sometimes when they happen fast, a lot of times that's good. You get it over with, you liquidate all the longs, right? And then you kind of take it back up. But if it doesn't if the amount of time it takes to get down here, to me, is not enough for a correction, right? If it would have came all the way down, which it still could, right? It could still continue to dump throughout the day. Then, and if basically look for Total 3 to test the bull market support band. If we test it, then I'm going to probably say we're getting really, really close for the bottom. As for Bitcoin, still not too sure. I mean, it could be a triangle, right? Where you have A, B, C, D, E, which is probably, a good way to explain why it didn't take out the low, right? It didn't take out this low. It didn't take out this low or this low. Total 3 did. Total 3 is down here, which is the altcoin. So the altcoins got crushed and Bitcoin just had a simple pullback, right? And that's kind of how it goes. So, again, it could be, to explain that, it could be, and I'm trying to do my best for everybody, A, B, C, D, and E. And we have 3 in E, so maybe it's done. If this is the idea, then it's probably done. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, and now we have 1, 2, 3. So, and we're in the final E wave. So if we find some support, we can get going out of here, and that triangle would be complete for a 4th wave triangle, and then boom, lights out. We continue higher. But that would mean we don't get to test the bull market support band, which then tells me that the bull market will be a lot shorter than we think. So, and then as far as Theta looks definitely more bearish than Bitcoin, but on the smaller time frame, on the bigger time frame, it looks still very bullish. It looks like we are simply flagging out in here. So we're just oscillating back and forth, back and forth. So it'll be interesting to see if we come back down and tag it before breaking up. So am I bullish? Am I bearish? On the macro, I'm still very bullish. Very bullish. This is a very bullish correction. I mean, you can see a sharp impulse. Look at the candles. We're impulsing. And then look at the correction. It's choppy. Chop, 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 right? That's how you know we're in an uptrend. Just like how this was, right? You can see we came down before coming up. Now we're chopping down. We just have to wait. We have to wait and see before going up. But if you've been following this channel, you already know that's kind of what we've been thinking here, especially with Bitcoin. So if I could pick any asset for it to test the bull market support band, it would be Bitcoin and then total 3. Theta doesn't necessarily have to test it, as long as total 3 tests it. That would be good. But who knows, maybe it might be so bullish that it doesn't necessarily need to, right? Which would be weird, but not unheard of, because if you look back, let's look at the last cycle. If you look at the last cycle, we only tested it once. Or did we test it twice? Yeah, we tested it twice. So, but then once we got going, it really never tested it again. So Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin tested it already 1-2 times, but it hasn't tested it in this wave yet. If you look at the last cycle, Bitcoin only tested it once, right? But if you look at the 2017-2016 cycle, look how many times it tested. Over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. It tested it many, many times. So, but yeah, what do you guys think? Are you guys bullish? Are you bearish? Definitely raising some eyebrows, but at least we got some volatility. At least we got some movement, right? We're not stuck in a boring range. Yes, it's not the direction we wanted, but it's the direction we've been talking about, especially knowing, what lies beneath us, which is an A, B, C, and a retest. So that'll do it for this video. For me, the head scratcher is Bitcoin. It didn't want to come down with it. Maybe, like I said, it's probably in a triangle, kind of like how XRP potentially is. If we want to stay sort of intermediary term bullish, we want to stay above this low. And then I'm really hoping that this is a triangle, A, B, C, D, E, and then we can get going here. If we break below these lows, then we're probably just swooping the lows like we did the last time before we go up, right? And then as far as Bitcoin goes, again, maybe it's a triangle, but it just doesn't seem like it too much at the moment. Again, we're going to need some more proof that it's a triangle. This wave did come down pretty steep, but we do have 3, right? So if it's a triangle, we'll know probably within the next couple days if it starts to get out of here. So, but yeah, I think macro still very bullish. Bitcoin is way above the bull market support band. Total 3 is it's getting closer, right? It's getting closer. We're only from the low, from the wick. We're about, I would say, 7 to 9% there. So we're getting pretty close. For me, I'm kind of just like, let's just rip the band-aid off and get it over with. And it is weird because it's Friday. And wasn't the solar eclipse, maybe that's what happened, right? Maybe the moon just blocked out the bullishness. I don't know. But we have a 1, 2, 3. We probably flag out for wave 4 into the weekend, right? Into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we kind of just low volatility. And then Monday, and then we get, the problem is the weekly close will look pretty bad. And then Monday we come down, we swoop the lows before, finding our momentum back to the upside. So looking at the weekly candle, it would be nice to have this weekly candle come all the way down, test it, and then get bought back up to turn into like a bullish, kind of like a hammer candle. Bitcoin, it still doesn't look that bad. Still Bitcoin is just basically stuck in that range right there. So there's no real definitive thing that just happened. The altcoins got liquidated pretty badly, but that's okay, as Bitcoin is still ranging. So yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts there. So what do you guys think? I mean, when I look at Theta, it looks still very bullish. Look at Dogecoin, it's still not even touching the bull market support band. The one thing I did get wrong is the XRP versus Bitcoin chart. I was pretty, hopeful that this would be the spring phase and we can continue higher. But now, right, now that it's proven that that's not the case, then what we know here, now we know what it is, right? It's okay to be wrong. We just want to rule out what it's not. So now what I'm thinking here is that this is 1, 2. All of this is 3. What we experienced was wave 4. Now we're getting wave 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since wave 1 and 3 were so extended, I don't think 5 will be that big, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at XRP versus Bitcoin. I mean, obviously it could still be Wyckoff in here, but it's looking pretty grim. I basically had 2 ideas. One of the first idea was obviously this was Wyckoff when we get a reversal. The other idea is to say that this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you zoom in, let's zoom in here. I mean, it could still be Wyckoff, right? It could still be where, you have all this support here. You take it out, right? And you find some support, and then you have that spring phase, right? So, kind of what we talked about last time here, which is basically this area right in here, right? So that could be happening. It does look very, massive engulfing. It's typically what you don't want to see. You want to see just a quick flush, a quick wick. Obviously, let's go to the daily. Yeah, it's not looking good for Wyckoff. anymore, but basically the idea was that we had, you know, 1, 2, 3 spring, 1, 2, 3, and then spring. We break the low, and then we start accelerating to the upside. But it was a false, totally false. So now we know that's probably not what's happening. Obviously, it could still kind of be a spring, but if it is, we're gonna have to really get the hell out of here quickly. We can't spend that much time. If the more time we spend, the less likely it's gonna be. But even if it isn't Wyckoff, then now we know kind of what it is, which is just a 5-wave move to the downside. So 1, 1, 2, right? All of this is 3. This whole thing was wave 4, and now we're getting wave 5. And then we find a proper bottom, and then we can reverse. So that's how I'm looking at that. The total market cap, I haven't looked at this one yet. So the bull market support band still kind of down there. Stretch it out a little bit. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. It would be nice to break these lows, get us down here, and then swoop out of here. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So, and that's kind of what we've been talking about for a while now. It feels like we've been in this correction for quite some time, talking about an A, B, C. Obviously, the hope was to get a rise, crash, retrace. We go into reaccumulation. That could still happen, right? We could be just going sideways before going higher. But for me, I'm just like, let's just get it over with, come down here, and wrap it up. So that'll do it for this video. I will catch you guys on the next one. If you can, it would be amazing if you can hit that like button, drop a comment, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.